back with another live stream here. I'm just looking at some of the latest Man City rumors here. Um, Today there's actually a lot of links I saw on Twitter. I just wanted to take a look, see about reliability, see some player comps with who they are similar to for some of the guys that I or most of you guys haven't actually seen play if they're outside of the Prem or outside of Champions League. A lot of these guys we might not be super familiar with, but there's a really good website I like to use, FB Ref, that has a lot of really good stats available and player comps that you can see with more household names maybe that are some of these who these dudes play like. So the first one I want to look at, I will pull it up here. Um, I'm just using City HQ because they do a really good job of. I don't actually put them a follow, but they do a really good job of just accumulating a lot of the rumors, whether it's reliable or non-reliable. But they're getting the people that post these things get information from somewhere. So I'm just taking a look. First off, we have Jonathan David, and they're saying we're looking in January. Now the guy is Canadian. I watch almost all of the United States games, and I've seen him play against us a few times. I am not super impressed with what I've seen from Jonathan David. Now he's got a pretty good um, scoring record from what I've seen online here. You pull him up. He's got 15 matches played this year, 11 goals and an assist. He's outperforming his XG. So I mean, he's good. It's French league, so you never know. Really, if you look over here at similar players, we've got Yoan Wissa, who's actually one I actually really like. And I don't know that City would ever look at Wissa. I'd rather have probably Mbemo from Brentford, but it's an interesting comp. And you see down here at 6, Nicholas Jackson, which a lot of people didn't like Nicholas Jackson right out the gate when he got at Chelsea, but he's been really good lately, and he would be someone that would fit for sure at City. Nicholas Jackson would be a great versatile backup option for Holland. I don't think he'd ever come to City and be the backup, but that's the type of player that I'd be looking at. Versatility, can play on the wing a bit, and then you down here at 10, you see Harry Kane. I mean, stats don't lie. He's the 10th most similar player is Harry Kane to Jonathan David. So maybe if that's anything hopeful, that's something that we can take as a positive. If you look over at his percentiles, his pass completion is in the 98th percentile, which is good, but that's not always a great indicator that they're doing creative passes. De Bruyne's pass completion percentage is always pretty low in comparison to other players that play in the same position, and that's because he likes to take more risks, which I'm in favor of. So that progressive passes, though, at 70th percentile, is something that I personally do like to see. Overall, I would say not for me. Jonathan David, I've seen him play many times against the U.S. I don't get to see a lot of French league here in America. There's not a way to watch that, but Jonathan David, not quite good enough in my opinion. If you scroll up a bit, there is the Danny Olmo rumor that's been going on, and apparently Barcelona are having trouble registering him. They're going to court, and their first review of the court was they denied the ability to register him. It's something along those lines. But they're going to be appealing that decision, so I don't know for sure that I see them actually not being able to register Danny Olmo. I mean, Barca have unlimited levers to pull to figure out ways to get more money. They'll just sell off another part of the stadium or something like that. They'll figure out a way to get him, I'm sure. Barcelona normally get out of these weird binds they find themselves in. Nonetheless, we have been linked, and people are saying it could be for a free, but I don't know if I believe any of that. But definitely 100%, in my opinion, Danny Olmo would be someone that is intriguing and someone that I actually wish we would have signed back in the summer when we were linked originally. Played very well for Spain in the Euros. That's where he really caught my attention. I've seen Leipzig play a few times when he was playing for them, and he was always pretty good. But when he played for Spain in the Euros. I was thoroughly impressed. He started off really well, I remember, with Barca. This year, he's got 5 goals, no assists in 11 La Liga games, 1 goal, 1 assist in 4 Champions League games, outperforming his XG. For me, he's very, very good player. Would definitely fit in with us. I don't know if he's quite good enough to be the KDB replacement, but squad player, fringe starter all the time. He's definitely good enough in my opinion. And then you see here, most similar to actually the number one guy that would be on my January wish list for City, Mateus Cunha. Um, I can see a lot of Wolves play. I get to see any Premier League game here, so Cunha is very impressive to me. And if Danny Olmo is the number one similar player to Cunha, I'm all on board. You see here Eze, another player I think is very good, would be good at City. Noni Madueke, not quite as good in my opinion, but a good player nonetheless. Pulisic as well, another player who's in my mind underrated across Europe. He's America's best player we've ever had, and he's having a very good this year and last year at Milan. And you also see down here Xavi Simons, who's another one of the names that we see a lot linked with City for that 10 that we're looking at to be a kind of a replacement for KDB, although I don't know that we're ever going to be able to find the KDB replacement. But I do like the similar players here for Danny Olmo, Cunha, Eze, Amad Diallo even is very good. So, in my opinion, Danny Olmo definitely worth it, especially if you can get him on a free, of course. But reliability in terms of do I think that will happen? Probably not. I think Barcelona will figure out a way to pull a lever out of nowhere and he'll be fine. No issues there. Although if it does materialize and there's more, rumors and reports that are seemingly more credible, I would be all in 100% for that. Next up, we see Liam Delap. Says Pep is a huge admirer and we could exercise our buyback clause. Now, I don't know that anything he's done this season now all of a sudden makes Pep this huge admirer. I mean, he's been in and around the Man City squad since Pep's been our coach. He's, I'm sure, very familiar with Liam Delap and didn't think he was good enough at any point, really. So I don't know that I believe we would actually be buying to keep. I could see a scenario where, our buyback is whatever the number is, let's say 40 million, and then we think we could sell him for 50 or 55, and we buy then sell to increase some profits there. I just don't think that Pep is someone that would have on hands knowledge training with Delap, see him go perform well at Ipswich, and then think, yes, he's actually now good enough to be in the squad. I don't know. I like Delap. I would love it if we bought him back and he actually was integrated into the squad and someone we could use. But if you're Liam Delap, do you want to go back to the club that sold you and never really gave you a chance to be the backup to Holland, where he may never leave and that's just you're the backup? I would guess probably not. So I don't know that he would be even interested in coming back and sitting on the bench. I don't know how much the buyback versus what Liam Delap wants to do. I don't really know how that transfer scenario works, but in my mind, reliability seems or likelihood seems low that this would happen where he'd be back into the squad. McAtee is frustrated, unsurprisingly. I mean, who wouldn't be frustrated? I think he's played 2 Premier League minutes all year. So I don't know why we would be interested in keeping him. I would think if Pep thinks he's good enough, he'd be playing. Obviously, he doesn't think he's good enough, so he's not playing. So not a big issue here, in my opinion. Either he's good enough or he's not. And if Pep thinks he's not good enough, I would imagine he's not good enough. So sorry, James. Probably out of the door in January, and that's good for him. He deserves to play. He's not really an academy player anymore. He's someone that should be getting first team minutes, and he's not going to get it under Pep or at City. So not a big deal in my opinion. And then the last one here, we have Samuel Ricci. Now, I've seen reports earlier that Ricci was not going to be a January type of sale from Torino, but the report says that they're looking for 35 million. Now, fine, no problem. If we think this guy's good enough to be the, Rodri 6 backup and maybe play some next to Rodri when he's back, no problem. But let's be honest, he's 23 years old. He's playing for Torino. He's not going to be the guy that comes in January and solves all our problems. The midfield will still be weak. I mean, he's at Torino. We'll pull up his stats here. Samuel, how do you spell his name? Ricci. There we go. Samuel Ricci. He's young. He's only 23. No goals, no assists. He's played almost 1,500 minutes, which, I mean, he's playing a lot in Serie A, which is great, but I'm not sure. Over here, you see his similar players, and I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with any of them except Guendouzi. And I know Guendouzi's all right, but I highly would doubt he's, Man City level at any point in his career. So for me, if he's the guy that we want to bring in and maybe he'll become something eventually, sure, no problem. I'm always in favor of signing young up-and-coming players, but I don't expect to see Samuel Ricci come in and contribute meaningfully in January. But that's just my opinion. I'd be looking at bigger names like Kimmich, like Bruno G, those type of guys. Now, unfortunately, there's nothing really on Twitter or X lately about them. Seems pretty dead, but hopefully we will be getting some actual major news coming up, since January 1st is only a few days away. I'll be all over Twitter looking for the links and reposting and commenting on there. So give me a follow on Twitter if you're interested, and like the video for me. It would help me out. Or just subscribe, leave a comment, whatever. Any one of those things would be great. I appreciate it, and I will be back when there's some more news. Hopefully there's some good news. City play again Sunday. Hopefully we can stop the rot. Not super excited, but, another City game is always a good time. So I will see you in the next video.